Before we begin, thank you very much to I Love Armada Hotshot Convoy Size Minicon for pitching in over on Ko-fi. That is an incredibly awkward one. That is incredibly awkward. Also very forced. Very, very forced. That's also a continuation of a shout out that was made like almost 2 months ago. But you guys have been on a train of convoy sizes that I didn't want to interrupt. So I think that's my last one though, and because I have so many shout outs, I've been waiting very patiently, I'm going to please ask you to stop. I know you guys are having fun with it, but it needs to end so that we can get to like all these people who want like their actual names shouted out. I need to be fair here. And if anyone else who did a convoy size got mixed into here somewhere and I've lost track of you, I will make sure to cover that as well. So, let us talk. So, last week, you'll notice I was in Robo TJ mode because all my videos were uploaded in advance. That way I could go on vacation without losing the daily streak, which is somewhere over 1,600. So, I was in Orlando. It was a kind of like a big 4-day weekend, long weekend vacation getaway thing. But the big thing for me was I was going to Universal Studios. I have never been to Universal Studios before. Like a true Floridian, I only go to Disney. If I actually have the chance and the time to go to a theme park, it's almost always Disney. But thank you to my friend Gob from Schedule Complex for the assist on getting in at a much more affordable rate. So I actually did get to experience this park for the very first time. I don't think it's as exciting as Disney because they're using a lot of properties that aren't nearly as like pop culture or I guess Americana culture as Disney tends to use. But it's still a fun time. I mean, I love any good theme park, and there's some really, really cool stuff at this one. But that is said, I know you guys don't want to hear about the whole vacation. I know you don't care. We're here to talk about the Transformer aspects of said vacation, which includes the very first time I've ever gone on Transformers the ride. So this one feels way overdue. Floridian. It's a few hours of driving away. So this has just been a curiosity for me for a long, long time. So for those who have never gone on the ride, I'm going to go over the experience, what I thought of it, and then toward the end, after we get done with that, I'll give you like the Transformer haul, so that way everyone who just wants to see the toys can see the toys. Everything with the presentation is super cool, like a gigantic nest building done up in the same aesthetic it was in the movie is actually really, really cool. The full-size Optimus Prime that sits on top is an incredible sight. It looks like it walked right off the movie. Exceptionally cool. So my big question was like the ride itself and how it held up over so many years. So for starters, like a lot of rides at Disney and all that, you have this long lead up to when you actually get in on the ride because they anticipate, hour-long lines. So they want to give you stuff to look at, videos to present, audio to give you like a story before you get on. So they had like a chamber with an all-spark fragment, and I do believe this is all like screen-used prop stuff in here. So they had the all-spark fragment, at least one of the fragments from the second movie, in its like cool cylindrical chamber that you walk around and you get a chance to take photo ops and all that. This is obviously Scorponok's tail from the first movie. Again, I don't know if it's the exact prop or if it's just a replica. It's still pretty cool to see. Still really neat. As you're going, you're hearing a lot of audio because there is a storyline playing. You will get the occasional area with TV screens, and they'll be playing a chunk of the story, which is General Morshower from the live action movies, basically going over a mission of the Allspark has a fragment here in the city. We need to get it out of the city because the Decepticons are on the way. They've set up an attack as a diversion. They know right where we're going. So they need all of the civilians in the base out, which is Evac's job. Remember, like, Evac's the main character of this whole thing. So we have Evac in charge of the mission. He'll be transforming into the car you ride on during the ride, which is a fun little gimmick. You know, it's a great way of integrating Transformers into it. Yeah, so you hear from him. You hear from Evac. He's got a full CGI model. They've like spared no expense on that. He looks exactly like one of the movie models, and he does have a full transformation sequence on screen, which is super cool. You hear a lot from Optimus Prime, which is super cool to hear like brand new lines from Peter Cullen I have never heard before. You get conversations with Wheelie and Moreshower, which is kind of funny in itself. It's a fun little storyline. It's a fun little distraction. Like what gets to me a lot here is knowing that like this ride is not going to last forever. They will eventually tear it down when it's deemed to be too old, you know, not in style, or they just feel like building something else in its place. So when they eventually get around to doing that, I feel like all of these videos are just lost media, because I don't know any way they're actually going to preserve those, or if they would ever upload them to YouTube or whatever. But it's fascinating. Very, very cool experience there. And then there's the ride itself. So the ride itself is using a lot of assets from Dark of the Moon. So it is very dated the way it looks. Megatron is in there. He still has like the scar over his I guess I was gonna say over his eye. No, it's through his entire skull. So it's that version of Megatron that is menacing you throughout this. Devastator is there despite dying in the desert. Well, we'll just ignore that because it creates a cool little set piece you get to fly around. You're going back and forth between intercepting Autobots who are guiding you along the way and Decepticons who are forcing your directions. And the things they do will interact with the ride. It'll shake, it'll do twists and turns and etc. And it is a simulator ride, but it is actually on a cart. There is a motion going on. You are moving up and down at times. Like it feels like a full free fall when you're watching this 3D screen. It is a fun experience. Honestly, like, and this isn't just me going like, ooh, I'm a Transformer guy. No, but honestly, of everything I rode during my stay, because we did Universal Studios Florida and we did Islands of Adventure, and probably this was my favorite ride. Like, not only because like you get this like cool 3D Transformer, you're in the adventure experience, but just because the ride itself was not like horribly intense, but it was still a lot of fun. Like still like enough motion to really be entertaining. I will tell you, what's funny about this is like going through all of these different iterations of Transformers, as some things have gotten updated and some things haven't. So along with the Dark of the Moon visuals in the actual story of the ride, you'll notice that a lot of stuff that a lot of little things like the Optimus Prime on the bags that they give out is not this Optimus Prime. I believe it's the Rise of the Beast version. It's a newer take on Prime. What I thought was hilarious, like on the way out of the ride, you're going to go past this little area they set aside for kids who are too small to ride, for just make a waiting area for, you know, the rest of the family to finish riding. And it's really just a box with a door on one side, a door on the other, and a few stools, well, not stools, but like a few benches, and just Transformer cardboard cutouts on the wall. And the cardboard cutouts on the wall were Optimus Prime and Bumblebee from Transformers Prime. Now, this already feels like little children detention center. Like it's this little confinement box for kids for temporary storage. So the fact that it hadn't been updated in 15 years was hysterical to me. But besides the weird, like, some things are more out of date than others, it's a fun ride. I really, really enjoyed the ride. Oh, and after the ride, Optimus Prime was available for a photo shoot, which of course I'm going to get a photo with Optimus Prime. Now, it's ironic for someone who spends as much time watching their footage as I do. I hate the way I look in still photos. I'm okay with like the visuals in motion. I'm okay with a camera. I'm not good with photos, so I think I look horrible in every photo I've ever taken. But it's Optimus Prime, you know. If I'm gonna get a photo with any one of the like big mascot suits, it's going to be Optimus. We meant to go back for Bumblebee and Megatron, never got around to it because yeah, it's a 2 theme parks. There's a lot to do. And before anyone asks, no, the Megatron in Orlando is not the snarky one. Is not the one on TikTok. That one's in California, unfortunately, which makes me sad because I want to get heckled by Megatron. We'll move on to what comes afterwards, where like after the ride, it dumps you off into the merch area because of course it does. The first thing I know, again, like well, just to be fair here, it's a cool little setup and all. Like, there's big fancy statue stuff, and that's neat. You know, there's little fun, little extras thrown in here and there, where so it keeps thematic. Everyone's still in like their nest costumes that are working the counter, so they try to keep into the vibe as long as they can. What you're going to find inside, at least as far as February of 2026 goes, it's a lot of Transformers 1 t-shirts. That really did not do anything for me. Frankly, it didn't feel like there was a whole lot there that was produced specifically for Transformers the ride or stuff that I could only get at this place, which makes it really hard to take away and enjoy the souvenir aspect of the ride itself, which is another big issue here. No evacs. There is nothing evac for sale. For full clarity here, the photo you're currently seeing is just visual example. I forgot to take a photo of the store. The store itself is very simple stuff. Like, they've got Optimus and Bumblebee lounge fly bags. If that's your thing, that's you can only find in there. But like all of these masks for like Transformers Prime, that's gone. The far side, you see like the carded figures that would have included the evac. That's all gone. No, I'm about to show you like the exclusive Transformers they sell there. You're going to find a bunch of normal retail stuff, and the markup goes anywhere between like 30% to almost 100%. Like, literally, this is the first time I had seen a Rise of the Beast Ape Link on a store shelf, and they wanted $99 for it. A character who has nothing to do with the ride, was only in the movie for 2 minutes, and is only a remold of a toy you might already have. They wanted 99 bucks for this thing. Not happening. They had leftover Earthspark figures. It's supposed to be like, I don't think they had anything Age of the Prime. Is like Studio Series waves just before that. They had, I want to say they still had the 2-packs for Reactivate, but they wanted Pretty Penny for everything. Obviously, it's a theme park. Everything is drastically marked up. But honestly, not really impressed with the merch haul. Really not impressed by it very much. Like, the one shirt that looked like a cool, unique design that I kind of like, that's something I would wear, was this sheer material that I would not wear. I do not have the figure for that. Biggest disappointment, in photos that I've seen from last year, they had this really cool Grimlock popcorn bucket with like an opening jaw to get into the popcorn, light up eyes. It looked really cute. It's a super cute G1 Grimlock. I wanted it very much badly. It is not available anymore. It is not available anymore. So yeah, like, ultimately, like, kind of underwhelmed by what they were selling, because it didn't feel like much was like unique to the shop. Now, if you want unique Transformers, well, they do have these. I mean, it's just Dark of the Moon Bumblebee as a deluxe release. So I will admit, if I wasn't there with Gob, who could get me discount on these things, I probably wouldn't have bought this. But I might open it for a video in the future, because this is not the Studio Series toy. This is the actual Dark of the Moon toy. Like, from ages ago, right down to the mech tech weapon still being included. Now, I double checked on eBay. You can get one of those in the original packaging for like they can sell for upwards of $50. So this one, even at 33, if you want a larger, like more substantial feeling Bumblebee toy than what Studio Series puts out, because this is, this is the vintage mold and engineering back when it was like still a lot more solid and hadn't been budgeted down so heavily yet. This is not a bad option to pick up. I'm going to be honest, compared to what it costs to get a vintage one right now. I will be opening it probably on camera at some point just to see if a mold this old can still be like good to play with, or if it's just degraded over the years of being a Universal Studios exclusive toy. They have the Deluxe Optimus from the same toy line too, and that's all actually a really good Prime toy, but I think it's a little bit small, a little bit unsubstantial for the markup. So we went with this one, and we'll let you know at a later date how it went. If you want an affordable takeaway that is actually unique to the park, I recommend the popcorn buckets. This one is based on Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie. So it's the round aesthetic of the movie design that I like a lot more. It's limited articulation, a little bit in the hips and ball jointed shoulders, and the eyes light up. And then you can open up the head, and that's where the popcorn goes. Now, this is $35 at the park. You get the strap that goes with it to hang it off you, so you can just like pal it around with you. And you do get one full fill up of popcorn for free along with the purchase. So, if you need a popcorn snack during the park, this is actually a pretty good value, I'm going to say, because that's actually like, I still have it here. It's actually pretty large. It's actually surprising. But that said, inside, you're not going to be able to see, but like, there's really not a whole lot of room. This would be like a small popcorn if you went to like one of my local movie theaters. So maybe not, that part is not a great value, but like for $35, that's a nice little takeaway, and it's a cute Bumblebee. The other takeaway I had from the merch section was the keychain, because every shop in Universal sells a keychain of some kind. This one branded TJ. The centerpiece spins to Autobot or Decepticon, which is a neat little trick. And this is actually now most of the ones are laser etched with the name on them. So a lot of them ended up getting like scratched or faded off just from hanging there on the shelf. But this one was engraved. So if you actually go, they're probably phasing out the engraved ones. But if you can spot one with your name that's engraved, get it. It's going to be a lot more durable than any of the ones they're replaced with. So that's the Universal experience. That's Transformers the Ride and what I thought of the merch shop. But I did do a little bit of I did some toy hunting while I was in Orlando, because of course I did. So I am going to show you a little bit of what I got. So if you saw my post on Blue Sky, I indulged in some Blockies blind boxes, and here's what I got out of the Shining boxes. This is, I believe, Shining Wave 3. I've never bought anything from the Shining series, so this was a cool little get. The one I wanted the most was the Shatterglass Ultra Magnus, the Delta Magnus, because I really like Magnus's design in the Delta colors. So that was a really cool thing to grab. Thrilled that I grabbed that one. I'm very happy that the next one I opened up was the Chase Megatron in the middle, who looks way, way cooler than the minor Megatron that is like the common version. Really, really cool looking figure. These light up, by the way, the chest and the eyes. Really neat. So yeah, I was happy to get that, and that made me happy to get the Orion packs. I think I'd be way more upset over the Orion if that was like the first or second one I opened up. But by grace, it was the third. So I'm not upset with the Orion. I wanted Ramjet. Because I have that particular attachment to Ramjet if you've seen like my past videos. And for anyone who's wondering, I did also grab a couple boxes from Galaxy Series 8. If you saw that on Blue Sky, both of them were dupes. It's a Dino Mode Sludge and a Shrapnel. Got them both already, which is kind of amazing. I've only bought 4 of those boxes, so to get 2 duplicates is astounding. Still want the Metroplex and the Unicron head from that set. So they're individually on eBay. They're expensive, so we will see. So visited a shop called Echo Base, which my last Orlando excursion took me to. Found a sealed Tripredacus agent. You guys know by now I have a weakness for sealed Beast Wars toys. It's the only mint in box collection that I actually keep. The bubble is yellowed, which is probably why I only paid $50 for it. But it's a really, really nice looking figure. Because of the yellowing on the bubble, I'm actually considering opening this one up as one of my, like, how every now and then I'll do a video showing like opening up figures, like sealed figures of my collection. I might be doing one soon for Polar Claw, because that box for my boxed Polar Claw is in a state where it might as well be opened up to be played with. So keep an eye out on that. I might be doing that either later this week or next week. But yeah, this one goes into the collection for now. My favorite get for all the toy hunting, Transformer or otherwise, out of this trip was this little Astro Train. So this Astro Train, I believe, I was told this might be an upscaled knockoff because it is the Legends class Iron Sky that was Mech Fans toys. This one is fascinating. So I gotta tell you, engineering wise, it basically follows the pattern of the original G1 Astro Train design. It basically does a lot of the same things that toy does. There's a few modern tricks in order to get things like actual feet and ankle tilt. Obviously, the arms are done completely differently, so they're a lot more solid and articulated. I'm going to tell you right now, it's like the best Astro Train I've ever messed with. And like, I'm kind of shocked Hasbro doesn't just do something similar to this. See how we had so many problems with the Siege Astro Train, especially in the shuttle mode. Now we have the new 86 Astro Train coming out, and everyone's got an opinion on that one. This is what fascinates me, is that like I literally have this little Astro Train. I have this little Astro Train now, and it's far and away better than Hasbro's last two attempts at the toy. It's screen accurate. It's very well articulated. All three modes look good. The shuttle mode looks a little bit weird, but that's just because it uses the robot chest for the outer shell. A Hasbro engineer would be able to figure out how to adjust that at a larger size to just like smooth out the shuttle mode and hide the belly. That wouldn't be hard at that size and price point. Why on earth is it so hard for Hasbro, so easy for other companies? It's not like super like third-party fiddly or anything. It's just improving the original engineering. It's all it takes. It's all it takes. Very, very nice toy. I'm aware they made a Blitzwing. I need to track down the Blitzwing now, especially to figure out if I have the real one or the knockoff. Or like I was told it was an upscale. The real thing. If I get the Blitzwing and it's smaller, I guess I'll find that out for myself, won't I? But still, I really, really like it as a toy. And then the fun one. So, who saw the video of Once Upon a Child, the secondhand store where I did some Transformer rescues last week? That was one of my automated videos. Who watched it? Hands up. Who watched it? Who watched it? Why didn't you? I see you. Why didn't you? It's a fun video. There's whimsical tales of those toys. But the big surprise out of that bag was there was a G1 bombshell in there where some parts were in pretty good shape and then some parts were pretty rough. And I think I want to try and track down a busted G1 bombshell specifically to fix this one up at some point. But I mentioned that I had a I have a G1 kickback in my collection. It is the second one I have ever owned. I had one as a kid, didn't survive my childhood. The bombshell is also the second one I've ever owned. Had one as a kid, didn't survive my childhood. But that just meant one was remaining. And guess what? I found it at Acme. Did I mention Astro Train and this one came from Acme Superstore? I think I missed that. It's my favorite shop it's my favorite shop, period. Always have to go there if I'm visiting Orlando, pal around with my friend Evander and Mara. Thank you for coming along. It was great getting to see you guys pal around the toy store together. But this completes my G1 Insecticon collection now. and ironically, probably the one in the best shape because my kickback doesn't have his gun. Yeah, and really, really nice. I can tell it's vintage because it does have the chrome wear on it. And yeah, it's interesting to finally complete the trio. Finally, I've never had a complete trio of G1 Insecticons before. It's kind of fun. So now I'm even more interested in fixing up the bombshell so I can have the trio complete on the shelf. So that was the fun little finale, and that's basically the Orlando adventure, at least the Transformer relevant stuff. I could go on about the parks. I could go on about the other toy hunting I did, because I did take away a lot of souvenirs. I took away a lot of, I don't know, just junk I shouldn't have bought. But that's a vacation for you. But I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm just going to leave it at the relevant stuff. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little taste of the adventures I had while I was gone last week. And as always, I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astro Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.